Hello, this is teddygaming and welcome back to a very interesting video, because in today's one we're going to be looking at the really weird history of the 2003 show and alternate cuts in certain episodes. So this is a pretty interesting topic just because I only discovered about some of this stuff a few years ago, but recently when they added the 2003 show onto Paramount Plus and also onto the most recent Ultimate Collection DVD set, they've added a few new interesting alternate cuts to certain episodes, and I must admit it's pretty interesting, and I don't think many people really know about it, so hopefully this video does explain quite a lot, and hopefully it does intrigue people to actually track down some of the original stuff and, you know, question it and all that, but yeah. Okay, so for the first one we're talking about is from the episode The King. Now this episode does a really great job of adapting the story The King from the Mirage comics, and does a really great job of adapting it for the 2003 show, and the episode overall is just a really great one. However, at the end it's pretty interesting from the comics to TV show and the history behind all the alternate cuts. So in the original comics, we do get to see Donatello and Kirby, they're walking up the hill, about to go home, and that's when Dude notices that a portal's closing in, so Kirby pushes Donatello through the portal. However, as Donatello turns around to try and get Kirby back through the portal closes, and that's pretty much it for Kirby. Now, Donatello does notice that there's a piece of paper, he reads it, and then he goes upstairs, he meets Raphael, and Raphael asks what's still the hot water, but Donatello doesn't really say anything, and he just walks into the living room, and that's when he reads the notes. Now, in the 2003 show, it's really interesting with the history behind the ending and all that. So in the first ending, it does play out sort of similar to how it did in the comics, where we do get to see Donnie and Kirby going up the hill, and that's when they notice that the portal's closing. So that's when Kirby pushes Donatello through the portal, and then this is when things get really interesting, just because we do get to see Donatello turns around and try and get Kirby back. However, the portal closes, and that's when we do get to see the piece of paper flies down next to Donatello, and then this is when we do get to see Donatello reading the piece of paper, and that's pretty much it. And I must admit, this was a really great ending. So here's the ending if you haven't seen it before.
Long as you're buying.
The portal!
It's shrinking. Don, you go first.
But...
Don't argue, there's no time, just go!
Okay, but once I'm in, I'll pull you through and... Oh, no! I'm stuck!
Hang on, Don!
The portal! Kirby! No! What?
Don, life at best is bittersweet. See you around, pal. Kirby.
Now I must admit overall, this whole ending is really great and really interesting, and the history behind it is really great, just because for most people, this was the original ending which they saw for this episode, and also this was actually the first ending which they did release on DVDs. Now after this episode came out, people didn't want to go back and change it, and he did change it, and I believe he changed it for about $1,000, so yeah, but I'm not entirely too sure if that number is actually accurate or not, but it's there. And in this new ending, it was more accurate. So we do get to see Donatello and Kirby walking up the hill, and that's when Dude notices that the portal's closing, so Kirby pushes Donatello through the portal, so that's when Donatello turns around and sees that the portal's closing, and is not able to get Kirby through. Now the portal turns into a piece of paper and flies down next to Donatello. Now Donatello in this scene picks it up, reads it, and that's when we do get to see Donatello go upstairs and sees Raph, and just walks into the living room, where he does read a piece of paper. So here's the clip.
Long as you're buying.
The portal!
It's shrinking. Don, you go first.
But...
Don't argue, there's no time, just go!
Okay, but once I'm in, I'll pull you through and... Oh, no! I'm stuck!
Hang on, Don!
The portal! Kirby! No! What?
So what's the skinny? You've been gone for ages. We got hot water or what? Sheesh. What's eating him?
Life at best is bittersweet. Take care of yourself. Kirby.
Now this ending was put on a few DVDs and stuff like that, and also do believe that this ending was actually the one which they have been using for the Paramount Plus and also the Ultimate Collection DVD, but I'm not entirely too sure just because they've not released those in the UK yet, so I'm unsure about that, but I'm pretty sure someone will say it in the comment section below, but either way, that's there. Now I must admit overall, I do like this just because it's a really interesting history behind all this, and I don't really know what one I prefer more, just because I do like the new alternate ending, just because it is more comic book accurate. However, I do like the original ending, just because that's one which I was brought up on, and I do enjoy that one a lot more, but I like equally both for different reasons, but either way they're still great, but let me know in the comment section below which one you prefer. Now the next alternate scene is one which I'm not entirely too sure if it actually does exist or not. Now, in the episode where we do get to see the turtles in space, I do believe that is Turtles in Space Part 4 or 5, one of those ones, and we do get to see the turtles trying on new Triceratops spacesuits and stuff like that. Now, people have said that I have heard like different alternate takes on that line, where we do get to see Mikey says basically the Triceratops suit won't fit him because it doesn't really work that well. But I'm not too sure if this one's actually real or not, because I can't find any clips whatsoever about this line, but I'm not too sure if it was real or not, but I have heard people say about it, but I'm not too sure, but I thought let people know just in case it is actually real, but if it's not, then, oh well. Okay, and then for the final one, which I must admit is the more interesting one and really confusing one. So in the Season 5, Episode 12, The Enter the Dragon Part 2, we do get to see Hamato Yoshi coming back to life and killing the Shredder. Now, I must admit this is a really cool scene, and everything about the scene is just so amazing, really cool, especially with what happens afterwards, spin turn Hamato Yoshi, amazing. But it's really interesting with the death scene. So for this scene, we do get to see Hamato Yoshi comes back to life and slashes the Shredder in half, and he turns into like a smoke kind of thing. And I think that this scene works really well. It's not overly graphic or gory or anything like that, and it works really well in the context of the scene, and it's just amazing. However, when they put this episode on Paramount Plus, and also when they did release this one on the Ultimate Collection, they did make a slight adjustment to this scene, where it's a very noticeable difference from where they did cut the scene out. So yeah, I must admit overall, I think that this is possibly the weirdest alternate cut which I did make for the show. I mean, I could understand it if this bit was a lot more gory and graphic and stuff like that, but there's just nothing really in this bit other than just Shredder being sliced in half. And even in this scene where we do get to see the alternate take, where we do edit this bit where he gets cut in half, we do get to see the body still like falling apart, so I just don't really see what's so wrong about it. And it's like, it's really weird just because the more I think about it, it gets even stranger just because they like cut this bit out, but yet they still kept the episode insane and membraning in like the Paramount Plus and Ultimate Collection stuff and stuff like that, and we didn't make any changes to that, even though that is way more graphic and gory and stuff like that, but no changes. So what's going on there? It's just really weird, but overall I think the original cut of it is perfect. It's just great, it works well for the scene, but this new version is just really weird. So yeah, that's all the weird cuts for the 2003 show. I must admit, I do really enjoy the King with the alternate cuts just because it's really interesting to see a show have alternate endings and stuff like that, and that's really interesting, really great. The stuff with the Turtles in Space stuff, it could be interesting if it is actually real, but I'm not too sure if it is or not, but you never know. And then just the Shredder stuff, I want to like it because, you know, it's somewhat of a new version of the episode, but it just makes the episode really bad and just, oh god, what were they thinking? But, yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you've done, please share, like, subscribe and all stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.